Hi my lovies and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a disappointing video and it's going to be a roundup of 2018's disappointing products basically. So I'm going to be talking about products that I either didn't like, didn't really get on with, couldn't understand the concept behind them, or just products that just flat out just failed and did not work for me for whatever reason. I always have to give a disclaimer when I do one of these videos. If you see anything in this video that I mention that you absolutely love and you're like, oh my god Ashley, that's my favorite product and I love that product, please don't take any offense to it. Everybody's skin, body, everything like that, we're all different and our tastes differ, and what we like in one product someone might not like in another and vice versa. So it's not like an attack on you, and I'm not saying that this product is a crap product. If you love it, great, but it's just it didn't work for me for whatever reason. I'm going to start off with one of the most disappointing products for me, and I've tried it so many times. I just can't get it to work. I don't understand why. It's expensive. I feel like it should be doing what it's supposed to do, but it doesn't. And it is the All Hours foundation from YSL. I tried this really late in 2017, so technically not a discovery of 2018, but it is something that I've tried to use over the year multiple times, and I just can't understand why it doesn't work for my skin. It is supposed to be like one of these incredible long wearing foundations, all hours being the operative word, but it just doesn't last that long on me. I generally don't have major issues with foundations like falling off my face or like getting like to the stage where I need to take it off, but with this foundation that's exactly what happens. I will use really affordable foundations and find like once I've set them, and you know, even if it's a really warm day, I'm really oily and you know my face is like sweating, I still find that my foundation is still hanging in there, whereas this just does not. It kind of clings to certain areas of the face. The color is so wrong for me anyway, but I've tried to mix other foundations in with it to try and get it to work better and perform better. Just no bueno. It is no good for me, and I just will never ever understand how to get this to work. If you have it, you've tried it, you love it, what am I doing wrong? Like, why does it not work for me? I can't understand it. That was my first fail. I hope I didn't mention this in last year's fails. I doubt that I did, because I would have only just like kind of tried it. But yeah, definitely this year we've tried a whole year of working with that product and it's just not going anywhere. The next product I want to talk about, I don't actually have with me because I have actually gotten rid of it. I didn't want to keep it in my possessions anymore, and it's the Ordinary Silicone Primer. I was recommended this, I either think by a subscriber or somebody had talked about it. I think Wayne Goss actually was the person that made me want to get it. I feel like he liked it and I purchased it for that reason. This does nothing for my face. In fact, it actually makes my skin look horrendous. It kind of like balls up on me a little bit. It just does nothing for the longevity of my foundation. It doesn't fill in any pores. I find that it's a waste of money, to be honest. Even though it's really inexpensive, I also am not really gone on the scent. I just don't like the primer as an all. And it's very unlike me to say I don't like a primer, because it's just, you know, it has one little tiny job, and that is just to prime the face prior to putting on foundation. How wrong can it go? But yes, with the Ordinary primer, it just goes very wrong. I'm never going to like it. I've tried it loads of times. I just don't get on with it. We're just not friends. Yeah. So next up, I want to talk about a concealer. It's from Essence and it's the Camouflage Concealer. It comes in an orange with an orange lid. They have a new concealer that they brought out, this one here, and this is also called the Camouflage Plus Concealer, and this is the Healthy Glow one. They're two different concealers as far as I can see, because I think that the consistency of this one is a little bit thicker and it works a little bit better on the skin. So this is not the concealer I'm talking about, it's the one with the orange lid. The orange one does nothing for me. I saw it at my local Essence counter recently, so either they're trying to get rid of it and they replaced it with this one, or they're keeping both in the line. I'm not really sure what the story is. The MUA concealer was the worst concealer I tried in my entire life, but this one was the worst concealer I tried this year, and I just found it just really streaky, kind of watery underneath my eye. It didn't blend out well, it didn't cover anything, and I could still see my dark circles. So I would just say save your money, even though it's Essence. Just don't go there. Really sad to be mentioning these because I thought that these might be actually quite a nice kind of product, because I actually like the liquid lipsticks, but they're not great at all. These are from Wet n Wild. Now, I haven't opened any of these colors because I have tried so many of them and still haven't liked them and have gotten rid of all of them. I'll open one for you and I'll show you what it's like, because I just didn't want to open them. I might give them to someone else who might you know, benefit from them more. Maybe one of my little cousins might like them a bit more. They're just not for me. It's just not my cup of tea. So they are like a liquid lipstick, but they're the metallic liquid lipsticks. That's what they are. I just don't get on with these. I found them impossibly drying, first of all. They're like a moussey formula, so they're quite different to the other liquid lipsticks. Like you have to keep going back in and out, which is what I hated the most about it. And it's like really streaky and just did not perform well. So that's what they look like there. I don't know if you can see that. It's just a mess, a horrible mess. I'm so harsh on Wet n Wild. I'm sorry. I love Wet n Wild. I love their catsuit liquid lipsticks. I'm wearing one right now. I'm wearing two actually. I'm wearing like Nudie Patootie and another one. I like their liquid lipsticks as a whole, but these metallic ones save your money. Like I said, I didn't even open two of them because I tried like maybe 3, maybe 4 in the range, and I just didn't like any of them. This one looks really nice. It's in the shade Satin Sheets, and then this one also looks quite nice. It's in Ride on My Copper, like instead of my chopper. And this one is Honey Glaze, that one there. I just don't get on with them. They're too drying of a formula. They're just, you have to go in and out of the packaging. They don't look great on the lips. No, skip on them, pass on them if you want to save your money, honestly. Next up, I want to talk about a mascara. This mascara was raved about. Everybody and their mother talked about how amazing this mascara was, and I needed to try it, and everybody loved it. It's in different packaging here in Ireland because in Ireland and the UK we have different packaging to the US. So this is from L'Oreal and it's the Lash Paradise. This is the Ecstatic mascara. And like I said, this was really raved about. It was supposed to be comparable to Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, which I also don't like anyway. So maybe that's why I don't like this mascara, because they're kind of similar. I don't like the formula of it. I found it really gloopy, and then I also found that it flaked all over my eyes. Same issue as I have with the Better Than Sex. I don't like flaky mascara. It's not a good look for me. So I don't know how people get on with this or why they like it. It's the same with the Better Than Sex. I don't know why it flakes all over my face and doesn't all over other people's. Like, other people say that that's their holy grail mascara, but for me it just, I have like black spots all over my face at the end of the day. Exact same thing with this mascara. It's inexpensive, you know, I think it's like €10, but still I'd rather buy 2 of the Essence mascaras, the princess ones, than waste my money on one, you know, very, very, very mediocre, poor mascara. The first time I mentioned this product was in a monthly fails, and I feel like I got absolutely slated and annihilated in the comment section for not liking this product. So I was like, okay, I'm obviously doing something wrong. Try it again, Aisling. Try it again and again and again. And I even tried it again there as recent as November, and I still don't like it. And it's the Huda Beauty Mauve Obsessions palette. I'm never gonna like this palette. I don't know what is wrong with me and why I don't get on with it. I was comparing this product to the Primark equivalent. They come up with their kind of own dupe of this. And I was talking about the formula in the video and just saying like how I don't like it. It's kind of like patchy on my eyes. It doesn't blend well. It doesn't look nice. It looks streaky, patchy. I'm wearing a €4 eyeshadow palette on my eye today. This is the Reloaded Neutrals 2 from Makeup Revolution. Absolutely love the eyeshadows in them. They blend seamlessly, effortlessly. They look lovely. Whatever it is about this formula, it just does not get on with my skin at all. Colours are just beautiful. It's what drew me to this palette initially. It's why I wanted to buy it. I just thought it was just so gorgeous. And I just said, like, those colours are so wearable. They're so me, because I'm into those type of colours. But once these go near my eyes, the formula just, something happens to it. They cling and look messy. You can see there from the swatches that the actual shadows are patchy AF on the back of my hand. Like, they're so patchy, and that's how they look on my eyes. Like, I kid you not, guys, this is the patchiness that I deal with on my eyes. I've tried my best to get them to work. I don't know what it is about them. They just don't look good, and no matter how much I blend them out, they're still looking patchy on my eyes. They're just not good. They look patchy in the back of my hand. Let's be fair here. Come on, let's call a spade a spade. They're patchy. To be fair, they're relatively inexpensive. They're only €25, which is pretty good for, you know, a Huda Beauty palette. But what else is €24 or €25? The Origins palette from Beauty Bay. I would spend my money on this palette any day over spending it on the Huda Beauty mini palettes, because I get on so well with these. Somebody actually said in my last video when I was talking about this that, you know, oh, Tatty said these were rubbish and blah, 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 and they're not great eyeshadow palettes. Tatty actually didn't say they were rubbish. She said they were actually very, very good. She said that the metallics they fell a little bit short, which I will agree on. But I am talking about these matte shadows up here. They are incredible. They are insane. And this eyeshadow palette is €25. That is so good for 42 shades. You get 9 patchy shades in the Huda Beauty palette, and I'm still not about it. I know so many of you are probably still going to come for me at it, but I just can't. I can't deal with the formula. Just no thank you. And next up, I want to talk about HQ Catwalk Tan. I mentioned this in a Mrs. video as well during the year, and I just said that I didn't like it, and I still stand by not liking it. It's a very patchy tan. It flares up my eczema so bad. I actually was like itching my hands and my inside my elbows and all around the tops of my shoulders and around my neck. I had itched myself so bad. I had like a red rash everywhere, and my eczema was flaring up. I had to scrub it off my body. I was like, I'm never ever trying it again. I don't like the color of it either. It kind of has like a greeny tinge to it. No, it's not for me. The tan that I would recommend is Bondi Sands. Yeah, go for Bondi Sands. It's amazing. Oh, or the Pennies one. I have that here with me somewhere. I don't know where it is. The Pennies tan that they came out with earlier in the year, or when was it, around the time I went to London? Around June, maybe a little bit before that. It is amazing. So save yourself on the Catwalk tan. Go with Bondi Sands or the Pennies one for next to nothing. You won't regret it. If you have any sort of skin disorder, don't go near the Catwalk one because it just flares it up like nothing else. So next up, I want to talk about a highlighter. This highlighter is a beautiful color. The reason why it's in my misses is because it looks terrible on my skin. Absolutely appalling. So I've tried to use this umpteen amount of times. It's in the shade Bathe. I absolutely loved her lip gloss from this collection. It's from I Love Sarah E. You can see it there, like it is a very pretty color. It's absolutely gorgeous. But when I put this on my, you know, my cheekbones to highlight, it looks quite stark on my cheeks. So I feel like it's not suitable for me when I have a tan, or if I'm wearing tan, or if my foundation is matching my body. I feel like I'd have to be relatively very, very pale. And this is the palest that I've been all year. And I still am kind of like, I'm not wearing any fake tan or anything. And I'm still a little bit too deep for this highlighter. If you have pale skin, this would have been a perfect highlighter for you. Absolutely beautiful. It's not available anymore. It's been obviously discontinued because it was a limited edition. I'm only mentioning it because I used it in 2018, but it would be absolutely beautiful for paler skin because it has that gorgeous kind of like almost like silver undertone to it. Like it's more, I think, catered for somebody with paler skin, and I would recommend it formula wise, but not in color. So it was just a disappointment for me this year and just a bit of a fail, to be honest. Okay, next up I want to talk about foundations. Now I'm going to mention 2 foundations because they're ultimately kind of the same thing, and I want to mention why I'm talking about 2. So the first one is the Makeup Revolution, and this, oops, let's not take the lid off that quite yet. Makeup Revolution, this is the stick foundation. I don't think it has a name. Oh, Fast Base Stick Foundation. And this one is the L'Oreal Infallible Long Wear Shaping Stick. Wow, I can't talk or read. So they're 2 stick foundations, both from like affordable brands. The Makeup Revolution one, absolutely lovely packaging. Really, really like the packaging and everything about it. The foundation, oh my god, this was a hot mess. I did a review of it earlier in the year and it just looked appalling on my skin. There was no words to express my disappointment for this foundation. So it goes on lovely. It looks quite nice and blends out really well into the skin. It's quite full coverage, what have you. It's really, really quick and easy if you're rushing out the door. I loved that about it. However, I found that foundation was not suitable for oily skin at all, and that's why I'm mentioning it. It looked horrendous on my face. It wore off all along my jawline, around the tops of my head, all over my nose, tip of my nose. It had worn off everywhere. Everywhere I get oily, which is most of my face because I'm oily, and I just found it wore off so bad on my skin. It was a really inexpensive foundation, so I can't slate it too much because it did what it needed to do for around 3-4 hours. So if you're going to the cinema and you really wanted a foundation, you're rushing out the door, it was a great one. It was a great option. And that's why I've held on to it. But the other foundation I want to talk about is the L'Oreal Infallible. Now this, I know like I'm talking about fails and I'm mentioning this one. This is not like the ultimate like stick foundation. However, it is like my favorite stick foundation I've tried from an affordable brand. The reason why I like this one a little bit better is because it's not comparable to like quite Hourglass or anything like that, but it is not as oily as the Makeup Revolution one. The Makeup Revolution one felt greasy and it never really dried or set. Even when I put powder on it, it never really kind of like set onto my face. Whereas I found the L'Oreal Infallible one did. It didn't last like hours and hours, but it lasted a lot longer than the Makeup Revolution one. So I use the Makeup Revolution one if I'm not going to be wearing foundation for longer than 3 or 4 hours and just want to put something on quickly. Like I said, I'm going to cinema, we're going out for dinner. I know I'm not going to be wearing foundation for too long. This is great. If you're wearing something to school or college where maybe your day is not quite 8 hours, then I do recommend the L'Oreal Infallible because it will last just that little bit longer. Stick foundations I find are really hard to get right. Hourglass does it to a T and I don't think there's anything quite as good as it. But if you want a stick foundation from an affordable brand, go with the L'Oreal one versus the Makeup Revolution. Oh my lord. This is probably one of the worst products of the whole of 2018. This is the Darkening Drops from The Body Shop. They came out a long time ago, but I only tried them this year. And I also tried the Catrice ones, and I've discovered since, obviously the Catrice ones being like my favorite ones, why this is so bad. This is not supposed to change the consistency, formula, longevity or anything of your foundation, but I can tell you that this makes my foundation horrible on my skin. So obviously it's a darkening drop, which it should be the darkest possible color that you could get. It's supposed to also be neutral, but I find when I mix this with my foundations, it makes my foundations look grey. Like it makes them look horrendous. I think it's the undertone of it that doesn't work. That's maybe why I don't like them. Loads of people do like them because maybe they work with their undertone of their skin, whereas I find because I'm a little bit like of the neutral and I have a bit of warmth in my skin, that it doesn't work well. It makes my foundation look a bit ashy. But also, beside all of that, I find that it changes the formula of my foundation. It doesn't make my foundation last as long, and it kind of makes my foundation go patchy. I also just don't like the way it mixes in with my foundation, and it's just not great. So save yourself the money with the Body Shop ones and go and get the Catrice ones. They're great. The only downfall is that the Body Shop ones are extremely dark. They're really, really great, like depth, like they're really deep. The Catrice ones could be a few shades darker, but the Catrice ones are much better consistency and they don't change anything got to do with the formula of my foundation. Now finally, I'm talking about a concealer, and this is from Kat Von D, and I'm not mentioning this now because of the whole Kat Von D scenarios and sagas. I'm actually mentioning this because I tried it during the summer, I think, maybe a little bit later. I've had it for a while, like I'd say I had it for about 6 months before I tried it. I never opened it or used it or anything. And I've tried it underneath my eyes a few times and I just feel like it does not look great underneath my eyes. It's a lovely concealer once you apply it. It blends out really well. It, you know, brightens all the whole rigmarole that you want from a concealer, but it creases like nothing I've ever tried underneath my eyes. It creases so bad on me. I think it's possibly because it's thick, like it's extremely thick. One of the thickest consistencies in a concealer I think I've ever tried. And I think that was the whole thing with the Lock-It concealer. It was strong enough to cover a tattoo. Same with the foundation. But it's just not good underneath the eyes. It needs to be a little bit more diluted down, I feel, in order to work underneath the eyes, because I want my concealer underneath my eyes to be lightweight, not heavy and thick where it creases and separates and looks not great underneath my eyes, basically. And I found that this was fine once you blended it out, but once you set it, I had so much crappiness underneath my eyes. I looked like a 95-year-old woman. It was just not great. So I would pass on it for that reason. If you like really thick concealers, then you might really like that one, but I just found that just to be way too overpowering, way too thick, and just left my under eye area just looking not nice, basically. Okay, I can take a deep breath now. I'm done. We're done for the year of misses. I didn't have that many misses this year. I think it's because I always put a bit of research into products that I buy, and therefore like I always end up with products that I'm happy with. But there is that occasion where I will listen to hype or something that I want to review for YouTube and it ends up not being great. So that's why we have these select few products. Anyway guys, what was your disappointing product of 2018? I'm always interested to know. Thank you so much guys for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and I will talk to all you guys in my next video. Bye!